Okay, back to it. My friends and allies believe as I do. Their support is the greatest treasure I could have.
Still, this early into the new year? 'Tis never a dull moment in your Majesty's employ.
Bit of a smaller party than we last set out with, huh? But it's a pleasure to be on the road again with you.
Okay, but can we really afford to have both our general and the Royal Guard's captain coming along for this?
'Tis natural course for the Royal Guard to accompany the king. And I trust my corps is not so feeble that it will fall apart in my absence.
We'll make it work. Got to learn to trust others and delegate, right? And we'll just have to lead by example.
Right then, let's go.
You once heard my voice and answered a query in kind. Is fantasy a powerless creation? That timeless question. So long as life remains in the world, we seekers all shall search for our answer. But he will find his. Of that I am certain. And it is thanks to you for believing in and guiding him. That was the true purpose of my royal magic, you know. To seek and obtain guidance from denizens of a land beyond ours. A land that has not yet lost hope. And it was you who answered the call. Armed with your hope, armed with the power of fantasy, you rose in glory. Such courage, such whimsy, and yes, what thrills. You have my sincerest thanks.
Feels familiar. It's been far too long.
Aye, the wind feels an echo of days past.
Unusually poetic for you.
Hey, hi, May.
They're awful, aren't they? They would have left us behind. Oh.
Well, I'm not certain we're in a position to talk, having followed straight after, saying we could just teleport back.
Well, hey, we figured the kids might want to change your scenery, like.
Wow! Amazing!
Poetic indeed. That the scepter's absence restored order to Magla, and even greenery to the sands.
I'll say, I definitely like this view better.
Let's go.
Cue credits. Yep. It would have been like 2 minutes too long for the recording. Motherfucker. Better safe than sorry. Well, the thing is, even if I hadn't split the recording, it would have gone over the 12 hours, and then I would have been forced to edit. Which, like, the editing itself is fine, but the issue is that you have to edit it, then you have to render it, and rendering 12 hours of footage takes a while. It takes not quite 12 hours anymore, thankfully, because I've got a much better CPU now, but it does take, it would take several hours to render. And then I also have to upload those, which would take even longer. I mean, I still have to upload this, which will probably have to wait until Monday. Because it's 1:30. If I start uploading now, it will probably still be uploading by the time it comes to stream tomorrow. Anyway, that is Metaphor ReFantazio. And we did, as far as I am aware, everything that there is to do. I say that, I don't know what the Book of Apocalypse did. It's a secret boss. Apparently. That's all I know. Okay. Not so secret now. I mean, well, if I didn't find out about it, I wouldn't know to go and do it, because you can only do it after having beaten the game. But that's fine. I don't know if we now get like a free play mode to do whatever we want, or what. I thought it was a New Game Plus. So. Which is why it's a secret. Fuck you. Because I thought that maybe I'd missed something. But how or when I was supposed to activate it. But yeah. I have really, really, really enjoyed Metaphor. And if you enjoyed Persona or any of the SMT games, I would wholeheartedly recommend this. It feels great to play. The characters and the writing is beautiful. Like, honestly, the characters in this have been very, very well written. And when it came to that ending where each of the characters gets their chance to say their piece to Luis, was beautiful. It was beautiful. Because it really did. Every single character was fleshed out and had some growth along their journey. That, I mean, I don't know how much of this epilogue has been influenced by the fact that we had like maxed out everyone's bond and everything. Like, I don't know if they would have still been in the same positions but not necessarily said the same dialogue. But it's great to see those characters come full circle. It's great having an epilogue like that. I do feel like after Louise just sort of kept coming back, he then kind of just went and it was done, which felt a little bit weird. Like, literally after fighting him 3 separate times for that last fight. Oh, the Chanter is a chief priest from a temple. That's cool. Yeah, after all of that, it did kind of feel like when he was done, he just kind of left. I know that we then did the thing with the channeling the Magla, but it still just it felt a little abrupt. Interesting seeing the different names. Like, they had middle names. Oh my god. yeah, that was great. I feel like, I mean, I know that from having played other Shin Megami Tensei games, or I think they're called Mega 10. I've seen people throwing that term around, Mega 10. From having played games from Atlus and Mega 10, I do feel like I probably could have done this on a harder difficulty. But at the same time, there were points where it almost felt like there was a core mechanic or something that was just missing in order for me to be able to do the thing the way that I wanted to. Like, as soon as we got Royal Summoner and had the heal and revive, that made everything so much easier. But the fact that you don't get any block or repel, except one repel that can only do certain elements anyway, and you have to choose that element before you even leave town. And the only things that we found that blocked elements was the dragon gear, which blocked fire. And it couldn't block anything else. That felt a little weird, coming from other games like Persona. Like, fair enough, we were able to resist everything as the protagonist in the end, but that didn't protect us against attacks that were instant kill. Which kind of does make sense. But like, it just felt a little bit weird that the final form of the archetypes, or especially the royal archetypes, didn't have an innate block or even repel or absorb. There wasn't any absorb in it apart from enemies in the entire game that we found. It just, yeah, it felt weird that like Royal Assassin didn't block darkness. That would have been an easy one. Royal Summoner block light, maybe? Hey, there's the Seeker. The great
Dear
Seeker.
guest, from a world I shall never know. In your eyes, I know our journey was ultimately a fiction. However, I hope your memories of this fantastical adventure burn as bright in your reality. I hope the promise of our world echoes in you. With all my heart, I hope that fantasy gives you strength.
It's still going. Is that the Caradrius?
Look at that. The rubble's just bait for tourists now.
I never expected a view like this.
Let's see it all. Let's see the world.
Yeah.
A new journey now beckons.
A new hand
In days of
touches the
Elda,
beacon.
the people prospered and perished in turn. Struck by their ways, I wrote a book of my dearest ideas. A tale of fantasy. In my vision, they placed their trust, and so the kingdom breathed new life.
The strength to believe in the unknown, that can change everything. Without a doubt, you will face all sorts of trials ahead.
But carry onward with all your heart. Onward, fearless, into a world unknown.
Fantasy lives on. By saving your clear data, certain things can transfer over as is to a new game. You can transfer owned items, money, mag, royal virtues, scanned enemies, memorandum, archetype statuses, and total playtime, but not levels. Archetype statuses, I'm not sure what that means, though. Carrying over the royal virtues is kind of nice, though. But also at the same time, that means that you are going to have a lot more free time on your second playthrough. Archetype statuses could just mean your, like, stats. So with this, that would just start a new game, would it?
Who's there? I can feel whoever you are. Please tell. Pardon my...
Okay. It literally just starts another game. How do I... How do I open the Book of Apocalypse then? So basically, you can't, because your level does get reset in New Game Plus, and you can't fight them on New Game. You have to go through the majority of the game in order to fight the secret boss. Now you see, that's an issue for me. Because I want to fight it. But I don't want to have to go through... I mean, we just spent 96 hours on our first playthrough. Fair enough. We did everything. But we just spent 96 hours on that. I know that if I run through the story, ignore side content, and all the rest of it, I can probably get back in not that long. Probably get back in 20 hours. That's still 20 hours. That's quite a lot to just fight one boss, and that's coming from me. If it was that I could load the clear save file, go back to like the day, that is possibly a full playthrough of another game. Exactly. But if I could load the save file and after clearing the game and go back to like the last day before leaving to fight Luis and do it there, I would 100% do that. Not right now. I'd do it tomorrow, but I would 100% do that. Am I saying that I will not run through the entire game again in order to do that? I'm not saying it. But I'm also not saying it. So completely off-track question, but what is the chance of missing a 1/3 chance drop 10 times in a row? Just wondering so you can scream when it happens. Honestly, each time is 2/3 chance of it to not drop. So there's two minds. There's two minds of how to answer that. Either it is 2/3 to the times 10, or it is 2/3 flat. The thing is that that's 3 to the power of 10. If it's sorry, no. It would be 2. It would be 2 to the power of... No, it wouldn't be 2 to the power of 10 over 3 to the power... How do you do factors again? Multiplication of factors? I've not had to think about that for over a decade. I know that for the denominator, you times them together, but I forget what you do for the numerator. Is it just addition? I mean, I say all of that like I can't work it out just using the decimal in like 2 seconds for you. Although not on this shitty calculator. There we go, now we have powers. So it would be 0.33 to the power of 10, which is 0.002%. That would be for, sorry, hold on. That's wrong. That's for the chance to get it 10 times in a row. Uh, 1.6% chance to not get it 10 times in a row. There you go. Math. You're having me do math at 1:45 after I've had a wisdom tooth out yesterday. I am not wise right now. I had my wisdom taken out. But yeah, this is you farming in Warframe. Anyway, I have very, very much enjoyed this. I might run through the story, skipping a bunch of stuff and all the rest of it. Probably off stream. Here's the thing, right? I am very, very close. Hopefully, in the morning, I will have finished all of the Eureka Relic grind. Which was my plan before Monster Hunter Wild comes out. It's possible that I could pivot to doing Metaphor, but there's still other stuff that I need to do in Final Fantasy, and Final Fantasy is my main off-stream game as well, doing the farming stuff in that, and has been for a very long time. So, I make no promises. Let's not talk about Final Fantasy VII Rebirth and the combat simulation challenges right now. I make no promises. Let's also not look back at God of War 1 and me going back and getting all of the spectral Odin crows. I am making no promises. Let's not look at going back and doing Dark Aeons. I am making no promises. But I would like to fight the boss. Whatever it is. It's probably another dragon or something, given the other super bosses that we fought, or whatever the fuck. I would like to fight it, but the barrier of having to go through the whole game again effectively is a pretty sizable barrier for me. Especially given that I have already maxed out all the kingly virtues. I've done all of the bonds. I've done everything that we were aware of. This is the only new thing that would come about, as far as I know, from doing a New Game Plus. That being said, I don't know if there's a plan for any DLC. If there was, that would spark me to potentially do another playthrough. I don't know what DLC for this would look like. Or if we'd even get it over here, or if we would just get a repackaged version of the game like Shin Megami Tensei 5 Vengeance, Persona 4 Golden, Persona 5 Royal. Like, it could be an entirely different game instead of just a DLC package. It's okay, we're used to this. It hurts because it's true. But I have very, 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 very much so enjoyed this. I would happily play more Atlus RPGs. I do really enjoy them. And I hope that this was entertaining to watch. Because I know that I wasn't necessarily talking all of the time, partly because this was largely voiced, and I enjoyed that. Or I was voicing characters, so then I wasn't thinking of giving my own thoughts on it. These are the games that I used to play. I used to play Shin Megami Tensei stuff, and I used to love it. Persona 4 Golden, Shin Megami Tensei 3 Nocturne, or Lucifer's Call, or whatever it was. Like, those were some of the formative games of my childhood, like, alongside Kingdom Hearts. I didn't quite get into them as much as Kingdom Hearts, but I very much so enjoyed them. P3 Reload incoming. At some point, yes. I deliberately have not played Persona 4 Golden or Persona 3 since Persona 3 Reload was announced. Which was annoying, because it was literally announced a week after I bought Persona 3 FES on the Switch. But yes, at some point I will play those. Persona 3 will be semi-blind? I've technically played some of it before. I remember basically nothing. Persona 4 would not be blind. I've not played it in a decade or more, but I do know I played the shit out of that game when I was a kid, a teenager. Anyway, that is where I will call it for today. Thank you very, very much for watching. We will be back in maybe 10 hours. I might be a little bit late for the Sunday stream. And we'll do some Final Fantasy XIV. I need to come up with something else to play that will take us through until Monster Hunter Wild comes out in like 2 weeks. So many options. I know. I have 2 ideas floating in my brain at the minute. One is I recently got Ori and the Blind Forest, which I think is the first one. Which would be a very, very different game. Very, very different style, so that then when we come to doing Monster Hunter, it feels more fresh, because we're not going straight from like an RPG into a grind RPG. But also, I was recommended to play the Talos Principle puzzle game by someone on YouTube. And I believe I have that on GOG. So maybe, you know, I don't know how long either of those are. I know that we would beat Ori in time before Monster Hunter. I don't know how long the Talos Principle is, but as a puzzle game, I also doubt that would take us more than a week to beat. And that's being very, very generous to how difficult that game is probably going to be. But yeah, anyway, it is nearly 2 in the morning. I have been streaming for nearly 13 hours. I am rambling. I'm gonna end here. Thank you very much for watching. I will see you soon. Later.